Close the door. What's up, everybody? What a beautiful warm day here in southern Arizona. So this time, I think it's about a week after the last time I recorded, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, I don't know. Schedules all blend together. But coming to you from Lake Havasu City, which is where we ended up going after we left Vegas, where I was in the last video. That's so cool. I keep hearing these horn larks out here. Tomorrow, maybe even this evening, gonna try and go get them. Anyway, yeah, you can see it's a beautiful warm day. It's like 73 out right now, sunny. And yeah, we've been enjoying it. I don't have a lot of updates here, but I'm gonna do kind of like a little bit of a two-part video here. The first part is gonna be coming from here, just a quick update on what we've been up to, a little bit of more van life stuff and a little bit of photography. And then I'm gonna do the second half from LA at Emilie's sister's house, which is where we're going tomorrow morning. We're heading there and gonna be packing up to fly to Florida. So talking a little bit about traveling and outside of the van, I guess, is what I want to talk to you guys about there. So anyway, normally I'd do this in a little bit better light, like a nice sunset at evening, but Emilie and I are going to go out for a hike tonight, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to try and get out and photograph these birds. In fact, I think I just saw one fly away. I'm going to try and get out and photograph some of these birds. So yeah, I haven't been doing much photography. We came down here to get away from the cold up in Vegas and the rain in California, because that was the other place we were hoping to be, as I mentioned the last time. But instead, the weather drove us here, which has been fun. Picked this location because it had some really good boondocking, like tons of boondocking options, and then also some really good mountain bike trails, which I've really been wanting to ride more lately. Photography, I don't know, I just haven't been like super inspired for the wildlife photography lately, so it's been more about the hiking and biking and that sort of thing. And so we came here. What we didn't realize is how popular the boondocking was here. It's kind of insane. It's a little bit more neighborhoody. There's another camper over there, camper right over there, and if I look out, there's campers spread out all around. But we picked this spot because it had a little bit more space. We went to another spot when we first got here, and it was just, I mean, everybody was on top of each other. And I mean, I get it. It's a beautiful area out here. It's free, you know, it's warm. So I think that's why everybody's here, but boy, it's just not the boondocking we're used to. We like being a little bit more remote and kind of away from everybody as much as possible. So yeah, we picked this spot far enough away from the highway we don't hear the road. It's got a decent view. The other spot had a really good view. You're like up in the mountains and everything, but there was just, like I said, there were so many people. We were all like, nah, forget it. This is brighter out than I thought. It was all cloudy when I first set this up, and now the sun's blazing on me. So anyway, I apologize for my squinting. Somebody in the last video said I should sit down with like a nice adult beverage, which is a great idea, but I don't drink at all. So that's not going to be happening. So I got my water today, and let's see, and I got my notes just so I don't ramble on too much. So yeah, Lake Havasu. We did a hike the other morning. It was really beautiful. I brought the camera along, but I'm trying to think. I don't think I took a single photo of birds with it. We just took a couple of like beautiful landscapes, because here's a really cool thing. Out in all of these deserts, so California, Nevada, Arizona, it's been kind of a rainy winter, I think. In a little bit of research I've done and from what I've seen online, that's what it seems like everybody's saying. And so it's wildflower season. The wildflowers are blooming up everywhere. I don't know, I mean, I guess maybe you can see a little bit back here, some yellow poppies, and there's some purple flowers. There's two different types over here to the left. One I think is a, oh gosh, the name is escaping me. It's like the northern purple flower. I think there's like a desert version of it. Anyway, it's beautiful. And so yeah, we hiked out. The wildflowers are really neat. And I've been doing some biking. I got this new drone, this DJI Neo 2. And it's one of these really tiny drones that can follow you on its own. So you just kind of hold it out, you launch it from your hand, and then it just recognizes you, and you can either walk, or I've been riding with it out in these beautiful places. So I went out and did, and I'm gonna show it while I'm talking about this right now. I went out the other day and did it specifically at sunrise when it was just, the light was just coming up. It was beautiful. There's nobody else around. And I had this thing track me, and I think it's so fun. I don't know if you guys, let me know in the comments if you like that. But I think it's just so beautiful when you find the beautiful habitat like this and the scenery and the light. And there's a few trails out here that are driving me mad. They're really hard for me. And then others, which is the one that you're watching right now, that were really, really fun, easy flowing, nice and easy to do. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Not really doing a lot of photography, just really enjoying the biking. But the reason I want to make sure I do some photography is because of this wildflower thing. It doesn't seem like it happens too often. It's not a common occurrence everywhere, and at least not to the level that I think it is right now because of how wet this winter's been. And so that being the case, I really wanted to make sure I take advantage of that. And even though I haven't really been particularly inspired to do a lot of photography lately, it seems like a big waste to be in a place like this that has unique conditions like this and not try to photograph some of these birds, you know? So that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try and get out tomorrow, or this evening, we're gonna do a hike. Like I said, I'm gonna bring the camera, and then tomorrow morning for sure, I'm gonna get out at sunrise and just kind of head out into this space back here because I can hear the birds every morning when I wake up. And I'm gonna go see if I can get them, because gotta try, right? And it also just, it feels a little like, wildlife photography is my job. I kind of almost have to in a way. And I know I don't have to, but I don't know. I think as soon as I do it, I will have fun. And hopefully if the birds are cooperative, I'll get inspired. And maybe if I get lucky, I can incorporate some of these wildflowers. So that's kind of the update. That's really all we've been up to. Van life wise, everything's been good with the van. It's been great living here. We've been here for like a week. It's nice and easy. There's an easy dump and pump spot for us to dump our tanks and get fresh water, not too far from here. That's really it. Just a nice simple update today. Not a lot going on, just us enjoying the warm weather, enjoying where we are, enjoying the van as always. Thankfully this week there's been no problems, no issues. I'm just gonna cut this right now and then come right back, and I'll be in her sister's backyard in LA, and we'll finish this video up. Hey, what's up everyone? All right, welcome to LA. So I'm here at Emilie's sister's house, and I just wanted to finish up the second part of this video talking about how we travel outside of the van. So for everybody interested in van life and living that way, especially full-time, which is a little bit different than if you're doing it part-time, it kind of comes up somewhat often of what do you do if you travel outside of that? So all the time we take the van to people's houses just like this and we park outside. And for us, here's the interesting thing too. I think this is a little bit of an interesting insight for most people with how much we enjoy living in our van. And whenever we stay at somebody's house, of course, it's nice to have access to a shower and stuff like that, but we never really want to stay in the house. Everybody always offers like, oh, you can come and park here, and then if you want, I got a room for you and everything. And for us, it's actually more of a hassle to pack up a subset of stuff out of our van, bring it into someone's home, and sleep in the bed. And honestly, our bed is so comfortable, we're so used to it, and it truly is our home. So it's just like how you all feel when you travel anytime. Home is home. It just feels more comfortable. You know where everything is, all your stuff is there. I know where my toothbrush is for every night, and I know where everything is for when I wake up in the morning and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually just easier for us to stay in the van, and we almost always do, unless there's some odd reason that we can't. And so that's what we've been doing here at her sister's house. We've just been sleeping out in the van, and of course we come into the house and hang out during the day and that sort of thing. But when we have to travel, we have to take some stuff with us and pack. And we were just doing that today. We're getting ready to fly to Florida in 2 days. And we're actually dropping our van off to Gretsch to get some work done on it. We have a handful of things. I mentioned it earlier, nothing major. Our awning needs to be fixed. I think there's also a recall on it. So we have to get that fixed. It hasn't been working, but we can survive just fine without the awning. We have a slide out step on the side that gets messed up all the time because we drive off-road all the time in dirt and gravel, and stones get in there and dirt and it stops working. So that, we haven't had a step into the van. We just have to do a high step every time. That's been broken. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, our thermostat's like been a little wonky for the heater. And what else? oh, our black tank sensor doesn't seem to be working, but we kind of know how that's going based on how much fresh water we've used and how much the gray tank is, and generally how long we've been in it as far as how many days we can get away with. So we've been getting away just fine with that. So we've been living fine with all of these issues, and there's a couple of other small things, but we knew we were near Gretsch here out in LA, which their headquarters is an hour away, and we were going to be away for about 2 weeks. So we're going to drop it off and try and get all this stuff fixed, which is going to be great. So that's happening, and then we got to fly to Florida. So how do we fly? Well, the first thing that's important is we can't have hard luggage. Where would we put like a hard-sided suitcase? And so this is what we use. We use duffel bags. We used to have bigger duffel bags than this, but we would always fill them up every time. You know, it's the kind of thing. If you have the space when you're traveling or storing something, you manage to fill it up. So we downsized these duffels a little bit. They're still pretty big and they expand quite a bit. But more importantly, these have, in the back, they have zip out shoulder straps. So you can turn this duffel bag into a backpack, which is huge. Especially when you're in an airport, if you have to do like a long distance walk. Sometimes we found ourselves walking really long distances. So this is how we pack all of our clothes and stuff like that. And then these pack up really small. So like we wrap them up really tiny, you know, they kind of can compress like this, and then go in our storage boxes on the back of the van. So they don't even stay in the van normally because it's just an empty bag, you know? So that's how we actually pack to travel. And then the other side of it is photography stuff. A lot of things in van life are trade-off. We have all these advantages, and then this is kind of a disadvantage. You can't just have big normal luggage, and you gotta make everything fit in that, you know, which is fine. Emilie's gone for trips to Costa Rica for a month in a duffel bag like that. I'm going away for 2 weeks now. She's going away for 2 weeks, and we're not even actually gonna be in the van that much. I'll be in it a little bit more than her when I get back and try and do a little bit of photography there. But yeah, that's kind of the update. It's weird gonna be not in the van for a chunk of time and just somewhere else entirely. And we both were just saying, as we're packing up, it's so annoying. It's so much easier when we travel somewhere with the van because we never have to pack anything. We never have to think about what we're bringing, making sure we don't forget something. We always have everything with us when we travel in the van, and it's a piece of cake wherever we go. So we just get to show up and everything's ready to go. It's just so easy traveling that way, and we absolutely love that. So anytime we have to pack up and fly is kind of an annoyance, but it's always worth it. As you all know, I mean, it's annoying for anybody. Even when you're leaving your home, you got to make sure you remember everything. So it's really no different there. You just got to make sure you bring everything and think it through, and it's always worth it when you get to an awesome destination, right? So that's flying, traveling. There's plenty of times too, I'll share about this. This time we're leaving our van with the original manufacturer to do some repairs. When we go to Hawaii, we're just going to be leaving the van here at the street in front of their house. But plenty of times we're in other airports where we don't have friends or family around where we can leave the van. And so a lot of times we'll just leave and park the van in off-site parking. So I've done it once or twice where I've left it in just on-site airport, like long-term parking, when it's like a shorter trip. But anytime it's a little bit longer, I just feel kind of safer going with off-site van or parking where it's monitored a little bit, where the entrance is monitored and exit. And I know something could still happen there for sure, but it just feels like it's watched a little bit more than just, you know, the middle of nowhere airport parking. And so it just feels safer. And we've done it a bunch of times now. I mean, at least probably, I say a bunch, I don't know, more than 5 times, less than 10 times. And we haven't had any issues, you know? And so we've left it all the way up to 2 full weeks in places with the battery still on and just the fridge running, and it's catching enough solar to keep that going. So when we get back, the fridge is still working, the food's good, the battery's still good. So any more than 2 weeks, and I think it's gonna be pushing it, we would have to empty out the fridge and turn the battery off and all that kind of stuff, because the last time we did it, it was like right on the verge of the battery getting a little too low. So it worked out, but I don't think we could do any more than 2 weeks like that. But thankfully, we don't really have any plans in the near future to be away from the van that long. So not too big a deal. So that's it for the van stuff. Let's move right on to the photography stuff. So I want to read, it was somebody else who was watching one of the previous episodes, or the first one. So Laura McGranaghan, wait, let me pronounce this right, silent G. Laura McGranaghan, there we go, I think I got it, Laura McGranaghan. She said, maybe you can do a how I fly with my gear video. This is so stressful for me and I don't feel like I've cracked the code. I use a think tank, but it has rollers and some airlines make all roller bags get checked at the gate. I was that person on a flight holding up takeoff because I refused to let them take my camera gear from me. Good for you, Laura. And they finally allowed me to store it above my seat. It was an allowable size, but they said because it had wheels, I had to check it. And so that's a great point. I understand it can be stressful. I know I talked to a lot of photographers coming on workshops with me, and they've never flown with their gear or haven't flown much, and they certainly worry about it. So I totally get it. And so here's what's happening. So I got Emilie's bag right here. This is our smaller think tank. This is their Mind Shift backlight 18-liter bag. And it's, you know, this think tank owns Mind Shift. That's like a subset brand of them. And then my other big think tank bag right here. And so I'll go over what's in these things and how we use them. If it's just a short trip, this is the bag we're gonna take. But if we're both going somewhere and doing photography together, then I'm probably gonna bring that bag. She's gonna bring this bag, unless we're just gonna share gear, you know? So Emilie she has a smaller laptop, so her laptop fits right in up here. I think even mine will fit in here, actually. I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I think it does fit in here because I think I've traveled with this before. But this is a newer addition to our gear. We haven't had it that long. So she's got in here the Z8. She's gonna be taking that with her. She's going down to Costa Rica and doing more portrait stuff, but she wants to be able to do some wildlife, so she's taking the 400 f4.5. She's taken the 35 f1.2, and she's taken the Plana, the 135 f1.8. So that's her kit. She's got battery in the camera, spare battery up here, charger up front, card reader, and then yeah, she'll pack, she doesn't have it packed yet, but she'll pack her laptop and the power adapter and stuff right up front here, and then she's good to go. This one's pretty light. It's really durable. We've used it for, we've had it for, I guess, about a year, just shy of a year. It seems built just as well as the think tank stuff does, you know. I personally don't understand this back opening thing. I find it really annoying. When I take my backpack off, I'd like to set it down like this and then access my stuff, but instead you have to flip it over and get to it, and the straps are kind of in the way, so you have to unfold all that to get to it. That being said, when you wear it, and I do love, like we got this one specifically because it has a waist strap, because when we do load it up and we're doing longer distance hikes and stuff, it's really nice having that waist strap to just kind of distribute the weight better, which is kind of a big important thing. So that's one of the main reasons we got this size, because I think smaller didn't have that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't understand this trend of the back opening thing. It just seems, I don't get it. I must be old and I'm not hip with the times and cool, but it makes no sense to me. I don't see any advantage. I've heard people say that they can like leave it strapped around their waist and then open it to change stuff, but I always have so much stuff in it that I would never want to do that and trust it, and it'd be really awkward and heavy, so it doesn't seem like that would be practical to me, but maybe it is for some. So anybody that has one of these back opening ones, if there's an advantage to it, let me know in the comments. All right, so here's the big issue, right? So flying, that one obviously is fitting under the seat, right? This one is an old think tank. I've had this thing for probably over a decade, maybe even more. It's the first think tank I ever bought, and it's their Airport Acceleration version 2.0. So they don't make this anymore, but they do make something similar in size, I think. And the reason I still have this one, I had bought a new one after it with wheels for when I was a wedding photographer, because I got tired of carrying this thing around on my back as it got heavier. But once I started flying, I had a pretty early on experience with what I think Laura had just said, which is you hear the announcement that overheads are full, we have to check anything with rollers, you know, or just overheads are full and we have no space for you to put anything in an overhead bin. So the interesting thing is, this thing, as big as this is, oh God, it's so heavy. As big as this is, I can still fit this under the seat. And so one of the times early on flying, I heard that announcement. And so I went up to the counter and I said, hey, listen, you know, I heard the announcement, there's no overhead space, but there's no way I can check this bag, because at the time I was probably like, you know, I had like $20,000 worth of gear in there or something like that. And I probably have more than that in here right now, you know? So there's no way I'm checking that. And the lady was really cool. She was just like, you know what, I think that looks like it'll fit under the seat, so why don't you just try that? And sure enough, it did. And so I was like, okay, now I know this is the size that no matter what happens on a flight, I can fit this under there. Now, if I do have to put this under the seat, it's really uncomfortable for me. I'm a little bit taller, you know, almost 6 foot tall, my legs are long, so I don't have a lot of leg room when it's taking up the space under the seat, but you know, I can be uncomfortable for some hours and get away with it. So what do I bring and pack in this? So I'm going on this trip for a little bit of fun photography when I first get there. And I am recording, I just signed up with the Journal of Wildlife Photography to do another course for them. I'm gonna be recording, making a bird photography course where I record through my viewfinder. So I gotta bring the stuff to do that. And then I'm teaching at this bird photography conference out of Merritt Island out of Chicago. So first things first, the laptop, power adapter for it. My hard drive, external hard drive that I store all my stuff on is on the outside of this. It's always in this pouch. It just stays attached permanently, so I don't have to worry about that separately. So that goes right in there. This is always in this bag. I have it here, but just, it's really nice. This is my sensor cleaning kit. So this is, they don't make these anymore either. This is a gel stick sensor cleaning kit. Amazing, works so good, so much easier than the other cleaning methods I've ever used, so I absolutely love it. And so I bring that with me as well, so if I end up, you know, noticing like really bad dust, I can clean it on the spot. I just got this, it's a little Bluetooth remote to do my presentation while I'm doing a presentation at this Out of Chicago thing. So let's open her up. Let's get to the photography gear. Okay, there's so much stuff in here. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna take the laptop out for now and just set it over here so I don't have to worry about it falling. All right. So what do I bring? Extra hard drive that has some other stuff on it that I might need to access. I got some lens wipes in here just because they're always in there and I don't feel like taking them out. All right, so I'm actually bringing, here's some lens hoods I don't need, but I am bringing the 400-2.8. So here we go. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna just pause this, change the view, show you the bag so I don't have to unpack everything, and then we can go over it that way. All right, so here we go. Here's what we're bringing. Got some microphones to do some audio stuff. Like I said, I'm recording behind the scenes things. So here's some lens hoods. Here's my bag for all the gear that I use to record behind the scenes, which is this battery, and then this Atomos Ninja V. So that's my external recorder. And then I have the DJI Action 5 to record kind of behind the scenes. Battery charger for the Z9. And then we got all the other gear. So we've got Z9 right here, 400-2.8. And then this is just a clip that I use to hold the GoPro on my chest as well. Card reader, strap for when I'm using a lighter camera setup. Got the Z6 III here as well. Extra battery for the Z6 III, extra battery for the Z9. All that goes in there. Then we've got the 28-400 because I just absolutely love the versatility of this, and it's just going to be a great lens to have, like a great all-around lens to have while I'm teaching. It's just ideal. Lightweight, small setup. I can cover all the focal lengths and show the students and people that I'm working with a lot of different versatility. If I want to go really wide, I got the 14-30 f4 right here, and then one of my favorites, the 100-400 as well. So there we go, right? 4 lenses, 2 camera bodies, extra batteries, chargers, plus all of the extra stuff that I use for recording. So that's everything that's going. So I know not everything is protected perfectly in here, and I have a lot of stuff just thrown in and shoved in and everything, but guys, this is how I use my gear. It's made to be used. I certainly don't baby it. I don't beat it up, and it's got enough padding where it counts, but if there's scratches and things like that, for me it doesn't matter. So that's why I just throw everything in. I'm sure most people would pack it a little bit more delicately, but for me, it gets the job done. I've never had any of my gear break, and yeah, there's the setup right there. Mash it all in, take it with you. So yeah, does it suck carrying this thing around and the luggage sometimes? Absolutely. And what I do a lot of the times is I'll actually put this on my back, because I think this is usually heavier than my clothing and luggage. And then with the backpack straps on that, I'll throw it on my front. So I actually have more balanced, you know? It looks ridiculous, but it gets the job done. It's been the best sort of system, because before, like I said, I had the huge duffel bag that I had to either carry or put on a shoulder strap, and it would fall off, and it didn't work with this, and it was a pain. So having backpack straps on that secondary bag is key. And the beauty of this is I've been able to always take everything I ever want with me on a trip. The only thing I can't bring in this that I'd have to pack separately is that underwater housing. It takes up a ton of space, and so I've not flown anywhere with that yet. But I also haven't really had a destination where I wanted to fly with it. I mean, actually, I guess I'd like to use it in Florida again right now, but just because it's fun there. But I don't really have a need for it there. And the next time I'm going to be there, I should have the van, which allows me to bring all the gear. And I'm always just bringing a subset of photography gear for what I think is going to be best for whatever trip I'm going on. You know, I certainly can't bring everything. Emily and I are lucky. We've built up gear. We both shoot Nikon, so we can share stuff, and we have over 15 lenses in our kit. And so it's impossible to bring all of that stuff. When we both go to a destination together, we can bring even more, because she can bring a bunch of gear, I can bring a bunch of gear, we can share, go back and forth. That works really good. But in this case, for me shooting in Florida and doing that job, the 400-8 is going to be really good. I don't really need that for the teaching. I really want it for shooting this new course of mine. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even bother bringing that lens and save myself a lot of room and weight in here, and maybe bring something else. But I kind of have everything covered. 14 to 30, then I have 28 to 400, and then the 400-8 with the built-in teleconverter that gets me out to 560. So there you go. I'm covered from 14 millimeter all the way through to 560 millimeter. That's a good range. It should cover pretty much everything I need. I have 2 camera bodies, so I have a backup if I need it, and that's how that works. Oh, one other thing I'll talk about when I travel. So like I said, store everything on this external SSD. I personally love these Samsung drives. So I have this, I think it's a T7, oh, this is a T9 now. So Samsung portable T9. This is a 4 terabyte external SSD. I like these just because they run a little bit cooler than the SanDisk ones that I have, but I've had good luck running the SanDisk ones as well, and that's what I use for some of my other drives because they're a little bit less expensive. But when I'm at a destination and I'm shooting stuff that I really want to make sure I have, I make sure I have enough space on my internal hard drive as well, because I don't really store any photos on there. I always have plenty of space there. So I import everything into my Lightroom catalog, which is on this external drive. And then while on the job, or while at the destination when I'm traveling, I make another folder on my internal hard drive and just copy the raw files there. They just copy there, and then I let them sit. I don't have a bunch of camera cards that I shoot. I only have 2 camera cards, and they're both in the camera at the same time. So that's one other thing that I really do recommend to a lot of people. All of these cameras now, I mean, pretty much any modern camera, right, has 2 camera card slots. So I have my CF Express card right here. And then on this Z6 III, because it's lower resolution, I have a big SD card. That's my backup card, right? So as I'm shooting, everything's getting backed up as I go, right? And then once I import it and then back it up onto the internal hard drive, so I have it in 2 places there, I format the card, or format both cards in that respect, and then I go on and shoot. On the Z9, that has 2 CF Express card slots, so I just put 2 big cards in there, and I'm always shooting backup. So I shoot backup while I'm there. I don't leave the stuff on the backup card, although sometimes I do. If I'm not shooting that much and I can leave it on there, I certainly will. But that's not a requirement. As long as I have it in 2 places on the computer, I feel pretty safe that it's going to be good for my travel. So that's the other tip I'll give everybody, is shoot the backup cards if you can, and then back up either with another external hard drive if you want. I don't feel like bringing one, so I'll just use the internal. And then when I get back home, I'll back up everything to my main backup drive here in the van. And then once that happens, I'll wipe everything off that laptop drive, the backup copies there. All right, so that's how I travel. I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.